Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about how Targaryens in House of the Dragon, spoilers for all of House of the Dragon in this, um, are able to make it so that they can ride dragons. Okay? Now, we're dungeon masters. Why do we need to pay attention to House of the Dragon? Well, it's so huge, it puts a pressure on us as dungeon masters to be able to deliver. We're gonna get, we're gonna get bog standard Americans at our tables, and they're gonna be like, "When do I get my dragon?" And previously, that wasn't really a warranted request. Now it is. Like they're like, "Hey, I watched House of the Dragon, saw a dude riding a dragon. I want to ride a dragon. Make it happen, right?" And the reality is, I think every dungeon master here knows, like, hey, this is super problematic for Dungeons and Dragons. Like, if you give somebody a dragon early in their Dungeons and Dragons career, where is there to go? Like, you should do a whole bunch of stuff before you get a dragon. But that's not the way America works anymore. Like, we just, expectations are a very real thing. And if you want your Dungeons and Dragons game to not look like it sucks, it needs to beat House of the Dragon. And so dragon riding is definitely going to need to step up and happen in Dungeons and Dragons. So how do we make it happen? Well, I'm not going to tell you how you make it happen in this video, but we are going to do some work toward that. Okay, because and you're like, well, you just put them on the dragon. No, that don't work, right? First of all, Dungeons and dragons are not like House of the Dragon dragons, right? House of the Dragon dragons are magical animals. Okay, Dungeons and dragons are thinking, feeling, sentient beings. Like, they're not magical. So in our world, like a wolf, that's an animal. Okay, in House of the Dragon, those dragons are magical animals. It's a little special, right? But in Dungeons and dragons talk, right? They can cast spells. Like, they are, it's not even like a dolphin. Like, they're like fully sentient beings, right? So we've got to be very careful as we proceed. And if we have any player characters riding dragons in Eberron, in Barovia, in Exandria, in Forgotten Realms, in any of the core worlds of Dungeons and Dragons, in Kaladesh, in if you have them in Dominaria, if you have them in any of the Dungeons and Dragons worlds, you need answers that House of the Dragon hasn't supplied. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look exactly at how the Targaryens control and become dragon riders, and we're gonna fully understand it, because we need to change it, because we cannot, no dungeon master can use the method the Targaryens use, because it's cruel and because it's evil. It's literally evil aligned, right? And our stories are about heroes, right? In Dungeons and Dragons generally. All right, so let's go forward. So we're going to understand how the Targaryens do it, and then we're going to start, and then in videos to come, we'll start talking about how we would modify that to make riding dragons in Dungeons and Dragons sensible, logical, and fitting. Okay? All right, so here we go. How do the Targaryens become dragon riders? It's step by step. There's different steps that they use. And also, one of the things that's really interesting is, once you have seen it, you know what the Targaryens need. So first of all, the Targaryens need resources in order to become dragon riders. Excuse me. So first of all, what resources do you need to become a dragon rider? So first of all, you need incredible wealth. No one who is poor can be a dragon rider. You just can't do it. Right? It's like owning a horse in America. Poor people don't own horses. It's just a fact of life. Okay? All right. Second, so you need incredible wealth. Then you need incredible courage. This is not for the faint of heart. These are independent creatures. Magical. These are independent magical animals, and they definitely have a mind of their own. Right? All right, so you need incredible courage, and you need incredible wealth, and that wealth. By the way, this is a multi-person operation. You need at least 30 people to make one dragon rider. Okay, all right. So how does it get done? Let's start moving it forward and get all the way there. All right. So the first thing is the Targaryens control every dragon egg they can get their hands on. So first thing is controlling dragon eggs. That means you have got to actually get a dragon egg, and you have to keep it safe. Right now, safe a lot of things. One, you have to keep it in the right like temperature for the type of dragon it is. Right. So some dragons, they need to be kept very hot, very warm. Right. But you have to get the egg and you have to put it in the type of environment where it will correspondingly grow the dragon inside of it. And you don't even know how long it could take. It might take, I think I don't think it works any less than 10 years. It might take 100 years, and some dragon eggs never hatch, right? So you have to be incredibly. So that's another thing you need to have. You need to have incredible patience. You need to have incredible patience, right? All right. So, and the other thing is you have to keep that dragon egg safe because it's ridiculously valuable, and people will literally take lives to get a dragon egg. All right. So right there, you have to control the dragon eggs. That's the first thing the Targaryens do. What is the second thing the Targaryens do? They control imprinting. When, yeah, they very much control imprinting. When a dragon is born out of its dragon egg, they have the Targaryen who is going to ride that dragon there at the moment of that dragon's birth. So it will imprint on the dragon rider. The dragon rider needs to be the first thing the dragon sees. Okay, it's called imprinting, right? So they control imprinting. The next thing is the dragon needs to be trained. Trained here is in air quotes, okay? And this is the part that makes what the Targaryens do full-on evil. So, one, they reward dragons when dragons do what the Targaryens want them to. They reward them with goats or with sections of goats. And they reward them with sections with a chicken, right, if they're really small. And they reward them with a cow if they're really big. Or they reward them with a pig, right? So they reward them with tasty meat, right, whenever they do something that they like. Whenever the dragon does something that the Targaryens don't like, the Targaryens punish them. They punish them incredibly cruelly. They'll literally beat them with different implements, and they will cause them pain every time the dragon does something that the Targaryens don't want the dragon to do. This is incredibly cruel. It fully makes the Targaryens evil aligned because no good person would do this, right? Like, it's just so. And also, this is the reason why we can't use the method that the Targaryens use for our player characters. It's unacceptable, okay? And especially in America, because America is in a special space. America 100% does not have any tolerance for animal harm. Not regular animal harm or for magical animal harm. So that's very important to understand that the way the Targaryens deal with dragons is completely unacceptable in Dungeons and Dragons game. It's where we're playing heroes. There's just no way you can use it. Okay, that's important to understand. I think that's a really, really important distinction. All right, what comes next? And the next one is sound response. They condition the dragons to respond to specific sounds. Okay, and those sounds can be the sound of a bell. It could be a sword clanging on a shield, or it could be the clink of a rusty chain, right? But basically, they make it so that the dragon is conditioned. When you hear this sound, you take this response, right? And so, one of the things we saw in the last episode. By the way, spoilers for all House of Dragons here. One of the things we saw was Daemon actually sang a song to awake one of the dragons, right? So when you hear this song, you awaken, right? And so basically, and then the last is they actually prepare them for war, right? So basically, I think the flow is control the eggs. So let's walk it through. Control the eggs, control the imprinting, train them, which is the cruelest, most terrible step in all of it. Condition them to respond to sound, and that also includes them understanding words so that they can be commanded. Dracarys is the most famous. It means, use your breath weapon on this thing that I am looking at, right? And we've seen that used many, many times. And last is we put them on is to the Targaryens, put them on a war footing, right? And make it so that they understand they are implements of war, right? And so that's it. That's the full path, right? So, the eggs, the imprinting, the training, sound response, war footing, 5 specific steps, right? That is how the Targaryens become Dragon Riders, and it makes them literally queens and kings. It makes it so, and by being able to do this, Daemon says it flat out. Says we are kings because of our dragons, kings and queens because of our dragons, and they are without a doubt the most powerful thing in all of House of Dragon. Now we as dungeon masters understand the process. Now we have to figure out how to change it so that we can legitimately, in a kind and tolerant way, put player characters on dragons. Because after House of Dragon Season 1, Episode 10, you ain't going to be able to tell player characters no. They're going to be, oh, I didn't know that Dungeons & Dragons sucked. If you tell them no, they're going to be like, well, I can just go watch the show and get what I want. So it's coming. If you don't know that the Dungeon Master's world has changed after Season 1, Episode 10 of House of Dragon, you ain't paying attention. All that's my humble opinion. I'm eager to hear yours. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.